Welcome to the D&D Fitness Radio podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Don Saladino from New York City and Derek Hansen from Vancouver, Canada.
Pretty cool. Pretty wild.
But even,
well, I missed my club. You just made me miss my club. How we doing, man? Oh, and I've been doing, man, I absolutely love your whole running program. I love it. Like I couldn't do it yesterday because it was pouring, but I did it Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. And I'm just really, really enjoying it. I actually adjusted my whole lifting schedule just to like make sure I can get that in now because I'm feeling so good doing it.
We've been doing the same thing essentially. Like a couple of times a week we'll go and, you know, like I said, we go to the golf course, run the cart path. And
are you doing that program every day though? Are you pretty religious with that program every day, or are you just kind of like a couple days a weekend type of thing? What are you doing?
I would say yes and no, but yes, like we're getting all the elements in. We kind of move it around, like you said, depending on weather or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're lifting religiously 3 times a week. So doing, you know, at least the one Olympic lift or pull, squat, press, a circuit after. And so I've been getting in much better shape because I didn't do that before. Like I haven't done that for 10, 15 years. So now my son is doing it. So I go through it with him, and it was tough. It's mentally tough. If you haven't done it for a while and you're like, oh God, I got, 5 sets of 8 at front squats. Oh my God, like that. And then you try to go up a little bit every set, and it was just mentally tough.
Right.
So it took me about 2 weeks to adapt physiologically and mentally, but certainly it pays off. Like I just noticed, like even walking around, I'm like, I just feel a little stronger generally, like posture wise and all that. So
100%. You could start removing things from your normal program because I feel like that just takes care of so much. But like today, like the ground is still soaked from yesterday. It was like a light drizzle. So I went and I did it, but I couldn't do the push up to like in the plank to sprint, when you have the starting position in the plank. Yeah. I couldn't do those. So I ended up doing them all where you just kind of fall into a sprint start. So I was like, screw it, you know what? But I was bummed I missed it, but I was happy I got it in, and it doesn't take a ton of time, but it's just amazing how your body just starts getting loose. What I've really had to adjust in the last few weeks was like my hamstrings and glutes have just been like tight and sore, so just trying to just stretch through it and, hope that in time it kind of adapts. But I had to change my lifting schedule a bit. And I had to get some other pieces of equipment because, when you're at home, what are you really doing for hamstrings? You're doing like one-legged RDLs, you're doing RDLs. You could do good mornings, but, so I went and I bought this like leg curl with, it was like on rollers that hasn't come yet. I bought a glute ham, like a foam glute ham, which you need a partner to do it, but like at least I have some more options and so whatever, it is what it is.
But you pretty much have everything you need right now.
Oh no, it's awesome. Like I'll give you a little taste of what I have in the background, but like, look over there, I got the power rack, which is great.
Nice.
That if you look at the, that little foam thing on the floor between the power rack and the kettlebells, that's that little glute.
Oh yeah. Cool.
See that? And then I have next to it, I got kettlebells. So I got up to like 36 kilos. I got some sandbags. I just don't really use those. Mm-hmm. I got the rower, which I really don't use. The bike I've been using like once a week. The bike's actually been pretty useful. I've been doing some like heart rate training on that. And then the erg, and then behind me is the power blocks. And then I have this little miscellaneous section like L-sit bars. And then I have a whole entire like band station up there. I've got a dip. I've got a landmine attachment. Like I can get it in, The only thing I'm not doing here is like heavy deadlifts from the floor. Like I'm doing like snatch grip RDLs. My front squat I laid off it for a while. So I'm kind of slowly building my front squat back up, doing a lot of like rear foot elevateds, one-legged squat into a box, like stuff like that. So it's been fun. It's been a nice time in the morning. You wake up and you just, I've been getting up this morning. I was up at like 6 and then I take to like literally, I'd say I'm ready to go by 8:30. So it's like 2.5 hours where I can like check emails and have a cup of tea and get some food in me and start stretching and just really like marinate into it. Like the first thing I do is I come downstairs and I like turn the heat on in this gym. Like I got a little like heat controller that just happens to control this room only. And, I just kind of start into it. And I took a sauna for 20 minutes, which was great. So by 8:30, I'm like out of the shower and ready to go and start my workday. But already you finish so much.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's great that you can, get into that routine and you have the equipment that you need and you don't feel constrained. And I mean, the only constraint is the weather if you want to go outside.
I know. I mean, I'm hearing next week we're going to have really nice weather. So it's funny how you got to plan ahead. You're just like, all right, we're going to have nice weather next week. Like I'm going to be outside every day. Like and the days I wasn't able to get outside, man, you don't feel the same. Like
Yeah.
you don't sleep as good. It's just not. It's like I took one of my calls today, just walking around outside with my headset on. Like fortunately, like there's plenty of social distancing where I'm at. I'm on
Yeah.
2 acres.
Nice.
Like, I'm not worried about seeing people or running into people. So I can take a call outside if the weather's nice. But when the weather's not nice, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
I made an arrangement with Trueform. So they sent me up one of their lower models, the Trueform trainer. And so we just set it up inside and the weather's been nice. So it's been good. But if it rains, like I'm going to be on that thing sprinting and doing the tempo runs and maybe filming a few things. And I connected them to some NBA teams. And I think we're going to try to move them. Like the facilities are interested or the staff are interested in getting it, but also the players, because they want them to do something high intensity in terms of speed. And if a guy's in a condo or an apartment or whatever, just having that treadmill there could be kind of a game changer in terms of bridging the gap for their speed of movement. So we'll see what happens.
Have you heard of the assault runner?
Yep. Yep.
Any feedback?
I just didn't like the feel of it in terms of it almost felt too easy, like too slippery. I think that was my one comment when I went to test it out. So when you get on it, it almost feels like you're going to slide off of it, where the Trueform has a bit of a weight and a resistance to it that's nice. Like you can kind of feel it and it's easier. And if I want to go faster, I just, like we did at Drive, we just prop up the front of it, right? So that's the reason that I keep coming back to Trueform, was the feel of the belt. The build quality is better generally than the Assault Air Runner. I mean, and if you go up to the Woodway curve, it's steeper. The curve and the skill mill, the Techno Gym skill mill, are steeper. But if I want to create that steepness, I just prop the front end of the Trueform up, and I still like the belt better, the feel of it. And maybe that's because I spent a lot of time with you guys working on yours. It's just my preference. So yeah, so I've just, that's all I do with these teams is like, hey, get the Trueform. If you want to go fast, prop it up like a couple inches, put some plates under the front end or something, and it seems to work pretty well. So
Can you prop up any of those powerless treadmills? Do you feel like there's an advantage if you propped it up with like a 2.5 pound plate, just something to give it the slightest elevation? I mean, you've talked about that, how the elevation you should be training off of isn't too intense, but like something slight. Is that
yeah,
beneficial?
just very slight. Like it doesn't take much for some reason, and I assume it's just physics, right? Like if you go up just a slight few degrees, it just allows you to go further, up the sort of the curve to go faster. It just, makes you have to go faster to keep that position. So it's pretty interesting. Like, I think, I don't think I could go back to a motorized treadmill. Like when I was in Toronto, I was at the hotel and they had I think they had like a Life Fitness or something like that. And I'm on it and I'm like, okay, this is all I can do. And it just felt odd because you're stuck to the speed that you pick, right? If I'm going to go 10 miles per hour, dang, every step's 10 miles per hour. But I know when I run, I don't run consistently because there's all this variability from step to step. And I think I like that. I like the fact that I can dictate what that variability is rather than running the same speed every step. It just feels odd. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. I forgot to tell you this. I went and I took my first ever. I'm not a classroom person, obviously. I mean, I've always been a one-on-one person, but I had a client of mine who's been taking this running class. And the teacher, he was like, you got to come check this out. She's a professional runner. She runs the 1 mile. That's like her event. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, well, how do you feel the programming is? And he's a runner. And he's like, no, it's smart. There's like a lot of thought behind it. She's a pro runner. Come on, just give it a shot. I'm like, how long's the class? He's like, the class is 40 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I actually went in and really enjoyed it. It was really, it was funny. I actually went and took, I think 3 weeks in a row, I met him down there on like a Thursday morning, and we went and we took the class, and I enjoyed it because there wasn't any bullshit with any weights, like hop off and do this and do that. Like you basically just got on, and she structured the classes into like, I mean, each day was a different, I think out of the 3 days I took, 2 of the days were different. So the third day was like a repeat. But it was interesting how she structured the intervals and how it really took the monotony out of it. It was mindless. She was talking to you and she's like, all right, this is what I want you to do. You got to bring this up to, you got to go at this incline. Your speed is dictated at an 85% intensity. And I need you to hold it for this time. Get ready. And she would hit it. And like, she'd crank the music up. Obviously there was music playing and shit like that. But I actually wore my first beat during it. And I was able to actually check my numbers and see how long I was in that anaerobic and that aerobic zone. And it was kind of cool to see how long I was able to hit into that high intensity zone, that anaerobic threshold zone. And it wasn't like, according to what my goals are and where I wanted my heart rate, like it was pretty damn good, man. I was actually pretty impressed with it. Maybe it was just because she was a good coach, but it was fun. I actually enjoyed it. But the whole point of my story was we were on a powered treadmill. So it was the first time I ran on a powered treadmill in a long time, but they were woodways and it was good. It was fine. It was, but I could see it. Like I've gone to gyms and just hopped on treadmills just to kind of see and feel like specific things. And they typically, the ones that are powered normally feel awful. The woodways actually felt great. So,
Yeah, it was one of those slat based belts, right? It's not like the normal rubber belt.
No, that was a flat wood belt. Yeah.
The tractor sort of. Yeah, I like those. If I was to pick a motorized treadmill, I'd be on that one for sure.
They're pretty good. I was impressed because they had like 30 of them in this class. But those are obviously costly. So,
but that wasn't like the Mile High Run Club. It was sort of more of a specific.
No. That's what it was called. It was Mile High Run Club.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it was. I thought it was pretty good.
Did they? So you basically monitored your heart rate on your own. They didn't say like, this is what. Okay.
I wore my, I've been with all my running. I've been wearing my first beat for the exception of yours because it really wouldn't.
The sprinting, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I've been probably doing one distance run a week right now, including your stuff. Like I've just been getting out to just kind of move and sweat and just do something that's mindless and just kind of get out in the sun for a period of time. So I've been keeping it to like one run a week, and then I've been doing all your other work. And if it rains a day, I'll get on the bike. Typically, I've been doing more of the bike to kind of break a little bit of a sweat. But it was Mile High Run Club, and I wish I remember the instructor's name. She was great.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're the same, but it's a very easy way to get your heart rate up and keep it up there. And I just can't do the same with other sort of modalities, biking, rowing. Running just is the easiest way for me, maybe because I have a running background.
100%. But I'm also noticing too, like to stay in that anaerobic zone, which if I'm trying to get into that high intensity heart rate range, like I really feel like when I get around, like the sweet spot for me starts getting around, like when I'm pushing that 2-minute mark. Where I can like really, really, really push and get that elevated into that red zone. Obviously, if I start going, I don't know. I mean, I really haven't tried to go that much longer at that type of speed. But like, how long can you hold that for? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like doing intervals, I think 1 minute's almost like a little too short to really elevate my heart rate to that point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense? 2 minutes though, like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, like I could start redlining and then, all right, we got to bring it down and we got to recover. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
if you go to the track, that would be like a lap and a half, like 600 meters would probably hit you there
yeah,
perfectly. Yeah.
100%. I mean, listen, but I've gone out and done 400s like at sprint pace, and I'm gassed, but my heart rate still isn't getting up that getting up that high. Like it's more of what's that term? It's not peripheral. What is it? It's
Well,
more
that's
when it's more when your muscle is fatigued.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it
What is
is.
that?
I mean, it is anaerobic. I mean, the 400 is a combination of anaerobic, lactic, and alactic. But you have there's a huge speed component to the 400, so you're not going to necessarily get into that threshold. That anaerobic threshold where you're
Right.
just pushing it. So, but certainly the 800. My wife ran the 800, and it was just god awful. Like in
That's
terms of
brutal.
the training and lots of repeat. 200s, 400s, 600s with short recoveries and yeah, it's tough. That's a tough
If you had to
race.
choose one range, and I don't mean what you like, but if you had to turn around and for your son, you had to say this is the distance you're going to train at. What would that be? Taking away the short distance sprints, but moving from one lap to 400 up.
I mean, yeah, I mean, some sort of if you did like you said, for repeat 400s, anywhere from 400 to 600 is going to get you really fit.
Right.
I think. You, you don't necessarily have to go. And then we used to do this thing where we called them split runs, where say I said, Don, I want you to run a 600, but I want you to run 200 as hard as you can, take a 30-second break, do another 200, 30-second break, and 200. And so you just give yourself enough recovery to make the next segment fast and the next segment fast. So it might be 200 30-second break, 200 60-second break, 200, and then you get like 5 to 10 minute break before you do another one. So that's a really good way to hit that energy system at an enhanced intensity. And then you start joining things together. So maybe in 2 weeks you do 400 with a 30-second break plus 200, and then you just join everything together and you run the full 600. But we do a lot of that where you subdivide it. It'd be like subdividing sets in a weightlifting scenario too, right? But it does help to get that intensity up and get you to the next level.
Right.
Still brutal to do those
Oh,
work.
stuff's hard. I mean, this is no joke. It just, I feel like people are giving up so much on the table when they're just going out for like light jogs. Like I understand why people are doing it. They're doing it more for the mental end and they want to break a little bit of a sweat. But I start thinking about when you start bringing those distances down, just like that improvement of elasticity that I feel from running shorter, harder distances, and the amount of carryover that the running has towards my, I don't mean my like general fitness. I mean like my resistance training. Like it takes care of so many things that that you can start eliminating specific exercises to kind of help improve those qualities just from that sprinting. I just
Yeah,
almost feel like it's something that people should never stop doing. Like imagine taking a child and their entire life, like you're just sprint, 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 and into their 20s and 30s, sprint, 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 and in the 50s and 60s. Like I truly believe, like if you kept up with that, with those qualities, like I would love to see what starts happening to the human body at 80 and 90 now. Like how are they moving differently than say our parents are going to be moving, right?
yeah, it's just something that nobody ever thinks to do. It's just not like if you go into a school PE class, they're not doing that. They're not sprinting. It's like go do a lap around the school or that's just how. And I don't know, maybe there's been a marketing approach around, when we grew up, like marathons were a big deal and triathlons, and this endurance piece has been tied to like the struggle of life, and like life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And
Mm-hmm.
where I think life, and you and I probably think the same, life is a bunch of repeat sprints, right? It's not this long continuous drawn out thing. It's like hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, relax a bit, then hit it again, right? So I don't know. I think it's just a mindset thing around changing what is good exercise, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I mean, where is everything going? Like, we talked a bit, I guess, with Mark Fisher about where is the gym business going. whereas fitness going, is it going to be more of an online presence now in terms of like reaching people? Are people not going to want to go back to the gym? And is this the way we're going to go moving forward? And then there was another argument online I saw about people were saying like, oh, too many people are giving away fitness ideas now and not charging people for it. But is there not a transition that has to be done to get people accepting online? So maybe you have to give out a little more free advice to
No,
get.
that's bullshit. I mean, whoever said that, I mean, I get into an argument with right now. And this is, we're in a vulnerable time right now. We're not going to be in our homes forever. Like this will wear off. Like we're going to go back to work. They'll start phasing us back into work. And you know what? Are we back here in 6 months? I don't know, but we're going to phase back into work. And people are bored out of their minds. I think what this time did for fitness was, I think this established a trust that you can get some good content if you're going to the right coaches online. Like very easily, you can get yourself into great shape. Like you do not have to go to a gym.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn around. Like perfect example is I'm doing your running program right now. My body's feeling great. And I'm handing out, a lot of the content that I'm handing out right now is just all body weight because it's all people have access to. And when I put up stuff with weights, people don't engage well with it. They don't share it. And then when I put up stuff with body weight, everything like the post do great and they share and they engage with it. So it's just showing me right there that people want more body weight stuff. So I'm going to give them more body weight stuff. But at a certain point, I just got off the phone with my landlord this morning. He's like, listen, we're out in the Hamptons right now. I have friends out in the Hamptons. Everyone out here, they love the Hamptons, but they want to get back.
Yeah.
They're bored. Like they don't want to be with their families this amount of time. Like I don't share that sentiment. I'm enjoying this time home with my family, but I can see it. Like, yeah, I said something funny to my wife today. I'm like, man, like we've been working so much and we're enjoying our work because we're working together and we're having a great time. But like, I want to go do something that's different and fun. Like, what does that mean? Go out to dinner, go to a movie, things that we used to take for granted. That would fall into those categories. It doesn't mean I want to go to a bar. Are we going to be back at sports bars, drinking and socializing? Like, I think people are going to look at things a little bit differently. I think we're going to go back to doing it, but I think there's going to be this period of time where everyone's going to be a little unsure about it. But giving away the fitness content, like if you're good at what you do, like, and I say that to anyone in fitness, if you're good at what you do in fitness, you're going to make money. But if you take care of people for the right reasons at a time where everyone's a little insecure, or they don't have money, take care of them, like give back. Like that's like, I've been doing every week. I can tell you right now, next week I have a workout with Men's Health on Monday. I've got a workout with Muscle and Fitness Wednesday. I've got the Deck of Pain Thursday. I've got Men's Health UK Thursday afternoon. I've got Golf Pass Friday. So right there already, I have 5 workouts, free workouts. And I'll probably end up doing 2 or 3 more on that. That's my lightest week so far. Like I've been giving away probably 20 plus free workouts a week, and I have to start cutting back on it now because I have other work and there's time. And I think a big issue also is that I can't save my Instagram live. So Instagram changed a bunch of their stuff. So now they're not allowing us to save their lives. So I'm not going to go do a live at 3:30 on Thursday if the video is just going to live up there for the half hour.
I didn't know that.
It's no point. And they're doing that with specific people. I don't know why. I don't know what their formula. I don't know why they didn't tell us that. Considering it's part of our business, they should at least let us know and let us know why. There should be like a little notification that pops up, but whatever. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm giving away a ton of free stuff. Now, someone can look at me and say, well, you're giving up all your ideas. No, I'm not. Like, not even close. Like, I have 21 years of coaching. You have 30 years of coaching. Like, you're not giving up your ideas in 2 months. Like, these are just tools that people can utilize right now and they can benefit from. And you're gaining. And listen, am I getting some good stuff out of it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I'm getting exposure. Like, don't think I'm not getting things positive out of this. I'm getting exposure. There's notoriety out of it. People are sharing my content. I'm developing more of a name in the industry. Like, and then when I decide to do paid content, I can leverage those relationships. But whoever said that, I think that's the perfect example of someone just trying to, develop a conversation or try and find something negative out of
Would you
a lot
say,
of
yeah,
positive.
I mean, have you been keeping track of your numbers and followers and views and like,
Yeah,
is that's
yeah,
trending up right now?
yeah. I mean, I've increased my, I think my Instagram following. I've increased over probably close to 100,000 followers in the last 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so that was a big plus. I mean, I also had some people posting about me, which doesn't hurt either. But they were posting about me because I was giving away free stuff. I didn't expect it. I didn't ask them to. They just did a really nice thing for me. They're like, "Oh wow, that was really nice. Let's share that. Let's, Don's giving away the farm." Like, and I didn't do it for that. I did it because I want to help. So
Yeah. And even if it's a 5% conversion rate for something you do later, that's awesome. Like on 100,000.
the one a 1% conversion rate's great.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not even thinking about that right now. Right now, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about trying, how do I put myself in as many positions to be successful in the long run? Not a short turn, not a short hit. I'm not trying to make, 10 extra grand this month. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to, all I can do is allow myself to leave the situation an inch better. And there's nothing wrong with me saying that. And if I can take a bad situation and I can come out in a better place, you know what? I think I did what I'm supposed to do. I think I did what any single person in this world should be trying to do. Like you want to try and come out of situations better. I mean, for the exception of death and certain things that you just can't, that are out of your control, and their tragedies and stuff like that. Like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we're dealing with now.
So, if you reflect back on our conversation with Mark Fisher and you're going like, okay, what does a brick and mortar business look like moving forward? Because you have obviously these different sort of grades or classifications. So you have like the big box fitness where they just cram people into a big warehouse and whatever, you do your own fitness, you might have a personal trainer. Then you have sort of the middle zone, which might be group fitness, and they still have a lot of people. And then you have more of like a boutique fitness or a small CrossFit box. Like, what is it? Are we going to still have all of those, or is it going to be?
I think we're going to lose. I think my business partner today said that his assumption is that 30% of the gym businesses in New York City are gonna evaporate.
Mhm.
Is that accurate or not? He's a pretty smart guy. So 30% of the gym businesses, and that to me seems accurate. Now, what I'm curious to see, because listen, when the government turns to me and says you're open and you can have full access to the club, I'm still thinking twice about it. I'm not a 4,000 membership club. I have 100 people a day coming in. So, is it going to be where I need to really socially distance people? I still want to, whether I want to or not. What I'm curious about right now are the Equinoxes or the Crunches of the New York Sport Club, because, are they gonna make a mature decision and play it safe? Or are they going to say, oh, well, the government's telling us we can do this, so we're going to do that? It's just so much volume in those clubs at prime time. And I'm not talking about 2 p.m. Like, don't go in there at 1 or 2 p.m. and say, look, we don't have a lot of people. No, in New York City, walk in at 6:30, 7 in the morning, walk in at 5:30, 6 p.m. And you tell me how easy it is to go get a treadmill. I mean, or walk through the locker room. It is a shit show. So that's what I'm like. That's what I want to see. I want to see, like, are these CEOs of these major fitness names, these major gyms, are they going to turn around? Are they going to make a mature decision and say, no, you know what? We're going to only open this up to one-on-one right now. Or you know what? No, we're only allowing X amount of people. The government said, we're allowed 100 people. We're gonna scale it down to 75. I think it sets a good example. I think it's just saying to people out there that, you know what? We want to play this a little extra safe. We value the opinion of we value the laws of our government, but for us, this isn't about money. This is about, your livelihood and your safety and our staff's safety. So we're going to play it a little bit more safe. And that's what I want to do. That's what I will do. And listen, I have a lease, I have rent, I have taxes. I'm in New York City. I'm paying for 15,000 square feet in the heart of Soho. Like, there's not too many places in the world that gets pricier than that. So I understand the need to make money, but I also understand the importance of life and our safety and our health. And at the end of the day, who really knows? Like, the government, like, God bless, Andrew Cuomo for his decisions and what he's doing. But Does he know the gym business well? Does he know traffic? Does he know the difference between, say, an Equinox on Greenwich Street and Drive 495 in Soho? Even though they're in the same categories as being a gym, how do you treat those both the same? You really shouldn't. You can't. They're completely different. I might get the traffic in one day that an Equinox might get in a half an hour during prime time.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the beauty of your facility is that the model is not let's cram a whole bunch of people in here and just have a big gong show. It's like, hey, let's provide very specific training and everybody has enough space. Like I mean, it seems like it's a great place to go and not be in somebody's face, right? Like, and
Oh,
you
I
can,
wouldn't. I would never join a big box club, even owning and doing what I do. I actually do belong to a place and let me take that back. I belong to a powerhouse gym in Long Island called Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym. It's a bodybuilding gym. I've been training there since I'm 16 years old. It's my gym at home. When I'm in Long Island, there's a gym open. That's where I end up going. Um, is Powerhouse is a chain? Yes, it's a chain, but this is a very niche market that this gym is attracting. This isn't an Equinox where they're all, no, there's like one of a kind of this gym. Like this is a bodybuilding, this is a specialty gym this is a hardcore gym. And I can go in there and I can be left alone and I don't use the locker rooms and I kind of walk in and walk out and I would feel safe in there. In the city with the majority of these spots, you got one small doorway you're walking through. The locker room is a shit show because there's just people like bumping into each other because it's all Manhattan real estate's so expensive and they have to figure out how to do things efficiently. And it's just, I don't see it. I wouldn't go put myself in that situation. I'd rather work out at a place that's a little more niche. I'd rather pay a little extra money and ensure that I'm not coming in contact with so many people or that I'm getting a little bit of a better product. Think about that. I'm paying a little more money to get a little bit of a better product and have access to less people. Like, yeah. I'm not going to the gym to socialize. I'm going to the gym to improve my well-being. And it's as important to me for my physical health as it is for my mental health. I do not need to have an extra 300 people around me to do that. I'm married. I don't need to be looking at women. That's not why I'm there for. I'm there for the same purpose that you're there for. And probably why a lot of times too, that, you start asking people, well, is what you're doing for yourself really working? Because maybe you're joining the wrong place. Maybe you're going to a gym for the wrong idea. Maybe you're not really focused the way you need to be focused. I mean, what's your opinion?
well, I mean, I always enjoyed going to your place because you had space. It wasn't claustrophobic. It was very focused, right? And I think that's definitely a marketing point moving forward is like, it's very, like you said, it's a niche, it's a specialized place. It's not, people aren't on top of each other trying to get fitness done or have a shower or whatever it is. Even entering your building, I could take the elevator, I could take the stairs. And so that stuff is really attractive to me. Whereas when I was visiting you, I would go visit other gyms. I remember going to one CrossFit gym. You could taste the sweat. Like as you walked in, you're just like, oh my God, like it hit you. Like the humidity and the atmosphere was almost like a turn off for me. And I'm sure some people back then were like, well, this is great. It's like a jujitsu gym where you're just on top of everybody, right? But certainly that's going to change. Like I don't want to walk into a facility and taste the sweat. Like that's a huge turnoff. But
It's disgusting.
yeah. So this whole idea of community, I think there's going to be a mindset around, well, what is community in a gym sense now? Is it people on top of each other, or is it like I have my space and I get great training and it's the customer experience is a lot safer and still
I think that's community. I think that's community. I think you said the word, Derek. You said customer experience.
Yeah.
I don't have to, do you have to go to a gym to make friends? I mean, maybe some people do. I don't know. But I think community is about going into an environment that you feel safe, that the staff has your best interest, that they really care. And that, if you want to improve your fitness, which should be the reason why you're going to a facility, you want to improve your fitness. If you didn't, then you would just do it at home and do body weight stuff and maybe whatever little equipment that you have, but you're going there to improve your fitness because you have access to things that you really enjoy. So for me, that's community. I think sometimes, I don't have to be around 50 people that are sweating on me. to work hard. Like I came in here this morning on my own and I was working really hard at 6 a.m. And you know what? That's me. Will I still enjoy going to a place? Absolutely. Would I still enjoy getting on some different pieces of equipment? Absolutely. Do I want to be around 200 people? No. The answer is no.
You could do squat thrusts in the subway if you wanted
Yeah,
that,
but
right?
it's crazy. It's like, but we have to reassess all this. And yes, I do believe things are going to change. I do believe that there are going to be facilities that are unfortunately going out of business, closing their doors. I think a lot of gym owners right now are like, this is too damn hard to be doing this. This is very, very difficult. And my question to my landlord today was like, listen, we don't have a crystal ball. Fortunately for me, my lease happens to expire after 15 years of being in business. Think about this. 15 years. I've had one lease at this location. My lease expires at the end of May, next month. So, I'm having a good conversation with him right now. Like, all right, if we're going to continue month to month, what's this going to look like? I can't sign anything long-term right now. And I
Yeah.
even told him there's too much uncertainty. I'm going to go in and lock into 10 years right now where we don't know what the next few months have in store for us. So, yeah, from my standpoint, am I in a bad situation? I'm not in a bad situation because I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. I'm not locked into anything. I'm not like, oh my God, I got to stand here for the next 3 years and deal with it.
Is he pretty understanding on his side too? Like, okay, I get it. I'm going to meet you halfway, and we're going to both.
He's been very fair. I mean,
Yeah.
my landlord has been very, very fair. I mean, over a 15-year span. Listen, I told him today. I said, listen, 15 years, we had our bumps and bruises, but thank you for the opportunity and everything you've done. And he's never turned around and said anything to me where I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like I can always kind of step out and say, I understand his perspective here. Like, if I'm paying X amount of dollars a month right now, can I drop that number, whatever? And listen, I'm going to make a number up. If I'm paying him $750,000 a year in rent, can I turn around and say, listen, I want to pay you 50 next month? Like it's probably less expensive for him just to say no and get the tax break. And so there's certain things that he can do also. So it's not a situation where you can just throw your landlord up against a wall and say, oh, it's me or no one else. No, he's got a plan B also. But him and I had a conversation a week or so ago, and we were like, listen, this is some shitty times. Let's figure something out that works for both of us, and let's both try and do what we're here to do. And that's for him to make money off of his tenant, and for me to build a business in a space that's that works for my business. It's that simple. It shouldn't have to be more complex than that. I mean, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because the guys above you are more of a digital business, and I'd be curious to what they're going to do in terms of like that's a lot of space. I spoke to them.
Yeah, no, I spoke to the guys above me the other day, and they're like, this doesn't help them out. It's not like because they're digital, they're home. Listen, we're operating our business right now. Fortunately, my digital business is carrying a big portion of Drive, and we have our trainers who are doing an exceptional job training a lot of the members, and the members right now are starting to understand. Wow, you know what? This digital thing, like. I can really get a better workout with a trainer on a Zoom call or on a FaceTime call than if I was on my own. That's really what it came down to. I was saying to myself, listen, I know for a fact that we can work with someone, on this platform here, what you and I are doing, and we can allow them the benefit. We know that because we're the professional here. Now, the person on the other end, they haven't established that trust yet. I think the first week we were doing no sessions because people were like, oh no, I got this. And finally I'm like, reach out to members. Listen, we're discounting the session rate. I'm just trying to get the trainers paid. You guys need help right now more than ever. Trust me on this. And a lot of them started jumping into it, and they saw the benefit off of it. So I think where this is going to help our industry is that people are going to turn around and say, wow, you know what, this video stuff, I can really get a good workout over this. If I can't get to the gym that day, there's no reason why. There's not a plan B I can do at home. And that's what I'm hoping happens.
Yeah. And moving forward, I mean, if you've established this digital sort of coaching environment, moving forward, you can just continue that as well. I mean, some people might say like, I'm going to come into the gym, Don, 3 times a week. And then I want a few workouts I can do at home to kind of support that, or,
Why not? Why not? That's part of my pivot. Ironically, how I was pivoting my business over the last year is kind of what we're setting ourselves up to do in the future. Like, measuring readiness, all the, programming that can hit a person in, Kansas, and an assessment process, and allowing them to train through a digital program that's more targeted towards what they need, but being able to do that on a scalable model. And do I still want to have the brick and mortar? Absolutely. I love having a spot. I love being able to host, events and members. And I love the community. Especially what I feel. I mean, it's been such a part of my life for the last 15 years, but gym owners they're going to have to adapt. This isn't like, oh, I'm opening my doors. My landlord actually said something really smart to me today. And he said, we're restructuring the flow of the building. I'm like, well, how so? He's like, we're going to have hand sanitizers at the entrance. We're going to have one way to walk in and one way to walk out of the building, rather than people coming down the elevator and like running into each other. Like we're gonna try and divert traffic through the back staircase, so you can kind of walk up and walk out, so you're not running into people and in contact with people. And I thought that was really smart. There's specific thermometers now, like little light sensors that they're gonna have, or we'll be able to put on different floors to be able to test people. I think that's super smart, where now you can maybe turn someone away if they're sick. I mean, I think these are things that we should be doing anywhere. I mean, if you think about it, shaking someone's hand has been something in society that is, showing manners, and it's showing, I always just by seeing how firm someone's handshake is, you can kind of tell, are they looking you in the eye? These have been indicators in deal making for centuries. You could pick up on someone by their handshake now, but also like now they're germs. And now you suddenly rub your eye, or you itch or you scratch your face, and and you understand all this, but wow, like that's dangerous stuff. Like you're now accepting bad habits from this individual. Have they showered in 3 days? Have they, where did they just walk out of from doing? Like, who knows who they were with? There's so many different things. And now suddenly we're trusting them that they're clean. And I'm curious to see how much does illness actually cut down? Like next year, like 2021, are less, even though we're dealing with this coronavirus, are less people sick with the common cold and all that other crap? I'm curious to see where those statistics go.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, all these things have to be rethought, and I mean, it's a great time to do it because people are going to be accepting of it, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, this makes sense. But if we didn't have this, and you started saying, because we used to see a lot of people around Vancouver wearing masks before this, and it was just sort of a cultural thing with the Asian community. They would just wear masks, and you're like, oh, that's kind of overkill. But now it's like, okay, I get it, right? Maybe they knew something we didn't know.
Is it really? Is it really overkill now? That's my question. Is it rude not to shake hands? I think, and I know when we're suddenly allowed back into the work environment, I'm not gonna shake anyone's hand, because I don't know if they're comfortable with it or not. I just, I'm gonna just say, hey guys, how are you doing? Sorry, obviously, trying to feel out these times right now, and with social distancing, and maybe that's something that kind of gets squashed for the future. I'm an Italian guy. I like to hug people. Like, am I going to be doing that? I'm going to stop doing that more for, their comfort.
Yeah, but certainly, I'm curious to see with the digital platform you've established, and you have a lot. Let's be honest, you have a lot of high-profile clients who also travel, like some, obviously the actors, but also even just the business clients who travel a lot. And now you can support them. Like, hey, you travel. Like, here's all the videos that we put together, and that's going to support your workout. So I think it's just a more comprehensive business approach that you have right now. So that'll be
100%.
really interesting.
100%. 100%. I mean, we're going to say too many unanswered questions. Your business doesn't change much because you've been doing so much digital, and you've been doing a lot more of the teamwork and the team training. So that's been, yeah, it's just for you, right?
I just don't do the in-person right now in terms of going and teaching a course, but I'm looking at shifting some of that to digital. Like maybe the first course or the introductory courses are all digital, so that people have a running start, pardon the pun, when they show up for the more practical in-person stuff, and that'll be more of a niche, a premium service. So everybody has to change and adapt here. It's not going to be easy. Getting that message out about what you're doing in terms of like your brick and mortar approach, your digital approach. and just getting people to think about that, because like this is something that's going to go out not only to people in the fitness industry, but certainly consumers. And if we're talking about this now, then they have to start forming opinions around, okay, well,
100%.
where am I going to spend my dollars in terms of going
100%.
to a gym and finding a trainer who has this flexibility and adaptability? Because if you just, like you said, if you just go into that drone mode and go in the morning and you go get on your treadmill at the gym and put your mind in neutral and then go to work, maybe that doesn't look the same anymore.
No, I totally agree with you.